the drivers of the Sydney market, both supply and demand, are unequivocally strong. They really are, and it's in the end it does mean that the drivers will end up on top in terms of what happens in the marketplace over the medium to longer term. But in the short term, moving into Christmas, of course, it does mean that we're sort of faced with this counterintuitive, weaker Sydney housing market that still remains the jewel in the capital city crown of property markets. Okay, let's go through those drivers first. Now, the big driver for everybody is interest rates. Now, we've seen interest rates fall down to the lowest levels that we've had. Mortgage rates now, you can get a mortgage rate for 3.5%, maybe lower if you shop around. Rates have been on hold now for over 2 years, which is a record period. It's actually 7 years since we've had an interest rate increase, which is a record period. Now, quite clearly, one of the negative factors in the marketplace has been the expectation that interest rates will rise again. And there's been a lot of media speculation around that over the past 12 months that interest rates would rise, and that can act as a negative for buyer sentiment and seller sentiment. But quite clearly, the Reserve Bank has stated that there's no prospect of an interest rate increase in the foreseeable future. And I've been an advocate now for over 12 months that perhaps the next interest rate move will be down. And there's a few economists that are joining me now, but certainly the fear around higher interest rate is completely dissipated. And in fact, we're starting to see now banks move back into the marketplace looking for business and cutting interest rates and realising that this becomes self-perpetuating. If you have higher rates, which they have had marginally, or restrict lending, you get fewer loans, and of course that means less business, and that's what the banks do. They borrow, they lend. Yes, any fear of higher rates, really, even from the mouth of the Reserve Bank, is now something we don't have to worry about for the foreseeable future, and maybe even we'll get a cut.